Going on a world cruise, there is a lot to consider. Let me tell you why the Weekend Cruiser is out. Hey everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And a lot of people have been asking me, would I go on the world cruise? Royal Caribbean, you all know that I sail Royal Caribbean a lot, announced a ultimate world cruise some time ago actually that's coming up in December of this year. And I want to share with you 6 reasons why it doesn't really appeal to me right now, or all these considerations when you're doing this aren't really making sense for me where I am today. So this video is not going to be to poo-poo on the world cruise by any stretch. I have a ton of friends who are going on the ultimate world cruise with Royal this year, and I could not be more excited for them. And kind of selfishly, I'm excited for them to report back and tell me how great it was so that I'll be more comfortable going on a long sailing like this. But let's talk about what is a world cruise. And so I'm going to reference Royal Caribbean's ultimate world cruise because that's the one that I'm the most familiar with. It is going to be 274 nights. That is about 9 months. They do have it broken out into individual segments. So there's 4 segments. If you want to go for a shorter period of time, you can do that. But the full thing, which I think most people are going to do, is 274 nights. And it is going to circumvent the entire world, starting in Miami, going down to Antarctica, cutting back up the West Coast, going over to Australia, Asia, through the Suez Canal, into the Mediterranean, and then back to Miami finally, 274 nights later. So it's going to go to 60 countries, over 150 different ports, and it's going to go to 7 wonders of the world. So it is going to be an experience of a lifetime for those people that are going on it. But I'm not going on it, and let me tell you some of the reasons why. So the first thing I'll mention that doesn't really appeal to me is it is 274 nights. The time commitment of this trip is ridiculous. And I've mentioned on here before, I have commitment issues to start with. So signing up for a cruise for 274 nights sounds ridiculous to me. It is so much time that you're going to be away from home. I cruise a lot, but I'm gone 3 nights, home 4 nights, gone 3 nights, home 4 nights. And every now and again, I get to stay out there a little bit longer, but I'm still around. I'm still coming back home and, checking in, if you will. For this one, you're going to be gone for a solid 9 months where you're going to miss a lot of things. So you might be missing birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, all sorts of things may be happening during this period of time that you're going to have to miss. The second thing that is a big issue is the price consideration of this. So interestingly, you'd think if you were purchasing 274 nights at sea on the same cruise ship, in the same cruise room, you would get some kind of a discount, right? But this cruise is so unique that it's actually selling at a premium, as do most world cruises. It is going for an interior cabin for $50,000 per person, double occupancy. So that is $100,000 per person. And by the way, you still got to pay port fees and taxes, which is another $9,000 per person. So for a couple to go in an interior cabin for 9 months, that is $118,000. Luckily, they are honoring the 150% solo discount if you're DP Diamond Plus 340 or higher. So it's going to bring it down to more of a $75,000. But that's still $300 per night, which is well outside of my budget. The third big consideration is they normally use older ships for world cruises, and they are doing that with Royal Caribbean. They are doing the Serenade of the Seas, which is in need of a refurbishment. She is an older ship and needs some work done to her. And they are promising the folks that are going on this cruise that they will be refurbishing it, that they're going to add some things to it, make it nicer. But Royal Caribbean's not really got a lot of money right now. They are certainly cutting costs and increasing revenue. And so I'm not sure how much they're truly going to be able to get done for the Serenade of the Seas for these people to board her for 9 months straight. I also go, what if an issue comes up? If something breaks and it needs a dry dock or it needs to fix something, would that maybe even end the cruise soon? And it's an older ship, so I feel like that's more prone to happen. The fourth thing that I'll say is probably my biggest concern, the people. So when you think about the people on the world cruise, you're only going to have that one batch of people. So if you sign up for a world cruise, you're there from day 1 all the way to 274. So Royal's a little bit different with theirs. They do have some segments that people can come and join, but for the most part, I get the impression people are going to be signing up for the full 274 nights. And that is just a long time. Some of my friends are going, I'd enjoy hanging out with them like maybe a week or 2. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy hanging out with them for a full 9 months. I'm also going to be meeting other passengers on the ship, and let's hope that you actually like those other people because they're not going anywhere for the next 9 months. Those are your people, And if you don't like them, there will be nowhere to hide on the Serenade of the Seas. I also have a saying that when you're looking at the length of a cruise, it directly correlates to how senior that crowd is going to be. Because if you're going on a 10-night, a 12-night, a 274-night, you're going to have to be financially well off, and you're going to have to probably not have a job that you're going to every day. So I imagine this cruise is going to skew to the more senior population. Though interestingly, in talking to some of my friends going on it, it seems there may be a good number of people who are going to try to work remote. It also seems that there's a few families that are going to be bringing kids on, like 80 different kids are going to have the opportunity to go on the world cruise and study abroad and have homeschooling from the cruise ship. I would gladly sign up to be a 10-year-old in that situation again. The fifth thing that I'll mention is for a lot of world cruises, and this one I feel like Royal Caribbean actually did get correct for their world cruise, but when you're looking at world cruises, they are often 50% sea days. So as much as you think you're sailing around and seeing the world, you're really seeing a lot of the cruise ship and the open ocean, with 50% of the days being sea days. Royal Caribbean actually has about 35% sea days, which I think is a really good mix, because on the extreme opposite end of that, you don't want to be in a port every single day for 274 nights. You're going to want some wet rest breaks and some downtime. The longest stretch they're going to have on this one is going to be in the Mediterranean with 21 nights that they're going to be in a port every single day. The sixth thing I'll call out, and the last thing that I'll mention here, is the one thing that I'm concerned with on this is kind of the monotony of it all. Like, it's 9 months on the same ship doing the exact same things. The first concern is the food. So we know what the dining menu looks and feels like on a Royal Caribbean ship. Is that going to be what they're getting on here? I think that the cruise line has told the folks going on the World Cruise they're going to try to source local foods, but Royal's not really ever done this before. This isn't their forte. It is their first go. And so I'm not sure how successful they're going to be at keeping that menu fresh and innovative while they sail around for 9 months. I also wonder about the singers and dancers. Like, you're not going to fly on an entire cast for the entire 9 months because you're only going to do 2 or 3 shows. A cast isn't trained at doing a different show every single week. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Magicians, comedians, if they bring those on board, theirs are always turning over as it is anyway these days. So that one's not going to be a hard one to do. But then you've got people who love their trivia. Are you going to want to play trivia for 9 months straight? Are you going to want to go towel folding for 9 months straight? I worry that doing the same activities on the ship or seeing all the same people, it's just all going to seem the same at the end of it. And I think that's going to cause the cruise to go by really quick. And I'll call this one a 6A, if you will. I worry that going on the world cruise is going to be a lot like binging a Netflix season or series. So when you binge watch, you get it all done as quick as you can. And, for me, going to every single country is a lifelong goal. I worry that if I do it too quick, I'm going to leave myself less to look forward to, and it's not going to be exciting. I know that the world is a massive place, and even after, this 9 months worth of cruising in 60 different countries, there's plenty more to see, but I kind of feel like I personally would like to take a more slow approach to seeing all these countries so that I really feel like there's a unique experience each time I go to one. And as I was scripting this video, and even as I'm recording it, the irony of this conversation is not lost on me. Because when I look at this list and go, the world cruise, this is why all the reasons why I don't want to do it, and then I look at what I'm doing now, and my weekend sailings do a lot of this. So let's talk about the time commitment. I'm already probably out at sea 120 to 150 nights per year. I'm already committing a good amount of time. I'm also spending a good amount of money, not quite the $75,000, a lot lower than that actually, but I am still at sea a lot, spending a lot of money. I'm also doing the same food. The food on the ships that I'm on does not change for weekend sailing. It is always the same. The activities, the shows, all the other things are also always the same, and I'm also doing the same exact ports every single cruise. So as I look at this list, that irony of, Brandon, so why don't you want to do a world cruise? And I think that it really comes down to the overall commitment of doing all that at one time and stepping up my game to be double what it is now. So I feel like I'm at a good spot with 120 to 150 nights per year that I spend on a cruise ship. For me, that is a good balance. If I skew this all the way to 274 nights, I worry that that's going to throw my balance off, and it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. So at the end of the day, I think the World Cruise is a great option if you consider all of these different items we just went over and you say, yeah, I'm completely comfortable with that. Brandon, this makes a lot of sense for me. I'd love to see the world like this. Then the World Cruise is absolutely for you. And so I would say that it's just probably not for me now. If I can make it on here when I'm no longer working on land, I've got plenty of money to afford it, you might actually see me on a World Cruise in about 20 years. And when I do, I can't wait to share that experience with you all as well. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, not seeing you on a world cruise anytime soon, but hopefully seeing you on a weekend sailing very soon.